Welcome everybody to another edition of Jeep 411. We're again with Amy Granat, the Managing Director of CORVA, and I have a question for Amy. And I kind of know the answer to this, but not enough to explain it. And that is, what is NEPA and how does that process work?
We probably could talk about NEPA for hours, which we're not going to do. But I'm going to relate my personal experience in seeing trails close and not understanding why they were closed, or what we could possibly do to not have them closed. And I found that federal agencies follow a process called NEPA, National Environmental Policy Act. California has CEQA, California Environmental Quality Act, which is very similar. And they have to follow this public process in order to propose a trail for closure. And really the off-road community wasn't engaging in this process at all because it is very daunting. And that's why in CORVA we teach comments projects workshop, which teach people how to make comments on NEPA projects or NEPA proposals. Part of doing that, you start off first, you have to identify what the closure is. The best way to do that is by engaging with your local forest and signing up to get notification for the Schedule of Proposed Actions, or a SOPA. And most forests release these quarterly, and I realize that this sounds, for an off-roader, very nerdy and sort of geeky, and most of us don't like to be confused with nerds, but it's okay to get into the regulatory framework. I'm giving you permission to release your geeky side. The Schedule of Proposed Actions really is invaluable. It gives you an idea what proposals are coming up, when they'll be released, who is in charge, and then you can follow up because you have a phone number and a contact for whatever it is. And these things come out of nowhere. Suddenly you'll see, there's a major trail in a forest and they want to do some restoration work on it, and you're wondering, wait, I use that trail all the time, what's this restoration work? It could either be done on the side of a trail, in which case it's not a problem, or they could be talking about restoring the trail at all, the whole trail, and making it non-motorized. These things come out of nowhere. So if we want to follow the Boy Scout motto and be prepared, you have to know how to read a SOPA, you have to take the time to do it, and then you get involved in the NEPA process. The NEPA process, why I like it, is that it's very defined. So it's very easy to find online. There's the 40 questions of NEPA. It explains almost every part of it. It's easy to read. And the government now is making attempts at making NEPA actually more accessible to the common person. The thing is, we're available to help. All you have to do is either call us, contact us by email, let us know what the confusion is or what the problem is. But we depend on you and your information from on the ground, because there are 18 forests in California and numerous field offices for the BLM. We can't be everywhere, although we try to have a pretty good sense of what's going on the ground. But it really is important that you care about your local area. So BLM doesn't really have a SOPA process, but if you engage with your field office, your local field office, they actually are pretty nice people and they will let you know. But the Forest Service, you can sign up online. Most of us are used to doing that, and then spread the word. Once you find out about a project that may adversely affect OHV recreation, tell your local club, tell your friends, tell your family, tell CORVA, and we'll all work together on it. And that's the way we achieve success. Again, when I first started, we really weren't doing this in the off-road community, and so the majority of the comments that agencies were receiving were from environmental organizations. So if any agency receives 500 responses that ask for a trail to be closed to off-road recreation from various environmental groups and their supporters, and receive only 10 responses that say, please keep this trail open, it's important to me, they're going to respond to where they see the most comments. It's just sort of human nature. This is the attitude that we're trying to change and tell people that yes, you can make a difference. You have to expend a little bit of effort, but it is worth it in the long run.
And I'll add a comment to that. 3 or 4 years ago, we encountered a situation where our local forest wanted to gate a road when the road conditions were real muddy, so it would maintain the integrity of the road. And they wanted to do it with gates, and gates are kind of scary. They can be permanently closed way too easily. And we found out about this on the SOPA webpage. Each forest has a SOPA page on their website. That's the Schedule of Planned Actions. And by going through that, we came across this action that was planned, and we put the word out, and the Forest Service, in a very short period of time, received about 40 emails. The gate has not been put up yet. It's still on the SOPA, but it's on hold, and it looks like it's going to be on hold for a long time. So it makes a difference, and 40 emails basically stop that plan cold. If we hadn't discovered that on the SOPA page, that gate would probably be in place now, and today, being in February, and we haven't had snow in a while, so that trail is very muddy. That trail would be closed today for sure because of concerns about eroding the roadbed. So SOPA is very important. The NEPA process is very important. If you have questions, CORVA is the place to look for answers, especially in California. It's a process that's there to help protect us, and something that's important to keep track of. So if you're in a club, somebody in your club should be designated on a regular basis, every month or two. Go onto the SOPA webpage and double check. The Forest Service or any land manager, when they're planning something, they're supposed to publish that in local papers. I don't know very many people that read the classifieds. We come across stuff once in a while, but being proactive and looking on the SOPA page makes a big difference. So that's something you should plan on doing. Amy, do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's great. One thing about federal agencies is they do have a paper of record, a newspaper of record, that they are supposed to inform about actions. Most of these papers are very small local papers. I believe for the El Dorado it's the Mountain Democrat, which is in Placerville, and that only people in and around Placerville receive. But the effect, people who use the El Dorado trails come all the way from San Francisco. It's considered an urban forest, just as San Bernardino or Cleveland or Angeles are considered urban forests. So they're attracting people from a wide area of wide populated areas in California. Therefore, we're rarely going to see it in the papers, but again, if you want to make a difference, you have to expend a little bit of effort. It's not very hard. And find the SOPA. If you have questions about it, sometimes your local ranger district isn't very forthcoming. I don't know why that is, but I have encountered that myself when I say what's happening with this action. You can either call us, email us, and we'll help you get that interaction and find out the information, or be a little bit more persistent and go up the food chain and say, who is in charge of this? Who is the district ranger? Who is the assistant district ranger? Find somebody to talk to. Persistence, whether you're rock crawling or riding single track, technical track, persistence is really important in off-road. It's also important in protecting off-road opportunities.
Yeah, you can kind of look at it, if you're a rock crawler, you can look at it as a challenge of getting over rocks. Dealing with the land management agencies is kind of like getting over a rocky trail. You just have to keep at it and you're going to make it. And it's something that's very important. And keeping motorized vehicle access is a big priority, certainly for us that are involved in all these activities. So pay attention. It's something that's really important. Thank you for joining us, and be sure to hit that subscribe button, like this, and by all means share this with everybody you can, because this is really, really important. Thanks for joining us.